Here's my example of a beautifully restored 160 Ducati, and it runs pretty good. It starts okay. But it idles poorly, and if I take the choke off, it will not idle at all. It'll idle once it's warmed up with the choke on. So clearly the problem is a plugged idle jet, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. If we remove the main jet from the carburetor, you can see the idle jet down in there. Hopefully, I don't know. If you can see it, good. The cure for this little problem is not to take the carburetor all apart, soak it in thinner, and that's just a waste of time. The only problem is that the idle jet is plugged. So we're just going to deal with that, and the way we deal with that is we get a very small wire. This is off a piece of electrical wire with some multi-strand, and take that and put that down in that idle jet and feel around in there until we can feel it poke through, and then we've cleared the jet. Alright, I've turned the carburetor here, and I've removed the main jet, and that will give me access to the idle jet, which is right up in there. And I have this small piece of wire from a multi-strand electrical wire, and it's just small enough to make it through the orifice of the idle jet. And it's a little tricky, but if you're careful and you can feel it go into the orifice, and it'll remove whatever's plugging the idle jet. Now this is I could take off the carburetor and remove the jet, and it would be a lot more certain that I've cleaned it. But the problem with these UB carburetors is that's a very small head, and if the last guy that had the bike was a normal mechanic, he probably stripped that head out, and you don't want to take that out any more times than you have to. So now I'll put it back together and we'll see if it works. Got her back together again. We'll see how she runs now. Oh. Don't forget, you gotta flood it until it leaks. Choke on. Yeah, there we go. Now she'll idle without the choke on. It isn't quite warm yet. And you notice the choke is up on one of the UB carburetors. You pull this in this direction. On an SS carburetor or one of the square barrels, it's the opposite. So if you've got more than one Ducati like me, you're probably going to get confused.